My sister laughed. Well, looks like you're not invited anymore. After stealing my wedding cake, I said, perfect. When the bakery manager explained the cake was filled with allergens she'd specifically requested to poison my guests, uninvited became unindicted. I, 28 female, am getting married next month. Or was. Still am actually, just differently. My sister Veronica, 31, has always been the family favorite. Growing up, she could do no wrong while I was always too sensitive, or making a big deal out of nothing. Classic golden child situation that I'd mostly made peace with by going low contact after college. When I got engaged to my fiancé Dylan last year, my parents immediately started pressuring me to include Veronica in everything. Wedding planning, dress shopping, the works. I kept it civil but minimal. She was invited as a guest, nothing more. This apparently wasn't acceptable. 3 weeks ago, Veronica called me crying about how her boyfriend of 6 months dumped her. She needed sister time to heal. Against my better judgment, I let her tag along to my final cake tasting at this fancy bakery downtown. Big mistake. The bakery had my custom 3-tier design ready. Lavender and white with sugar peonies, exactly what I dreamed of. While I was discussing delivery details with the manager, Veronica was supposedly in the bathroom. 20 minutes later, she comes back all smiles, says she's feeling better, and we leave. Fast forward to yesterday. I get a call from the bakery. There's been a change to my order. I'm confused because I hadn't made any changes. The manager, Rita, asks if I'm sure I want the special modifications my wedding planner requested. I don't have a wedding planner. Rita reads from her notes. Client's sister and wedding planner Veronica called, paid the remaining balance in cash, and requested the following additions: almond extract in all layers, hazelnut praline filling, and decorative macadamia brittle. My blood went cold. I'm deathly allergic to tree nuts. It's not a secret. I've carried an EpiPen since I was 5. 3 of my bridesmaids have severe nut allergies too. Veronica knows this. She's literally seen me go into anaphylactic shock. Rita continues. She was very specific about these additions being a surprise for you. She said you'd been so stressed with planning that she wanted to handle this detail. She even paid an extra $400 for the modifications. I asked Rita to email me the security footage. Clear as day. Veronica at the counter while I'm in the back room, handing over cash, signing papers. The timestamp shows she went back twice. Once during my appointment, then returned an hour later to confirm the special ingredients. But here's where it gets worse. I called Veronica immediately, putting her on speaker with Dylan present. She answered all chipper. Hey sis, getting excited? Only 3 weeks. Did you change my wedding cake order? Oh my God, you found out. I was going to surprise you. I thought your cake was so boring, so I jazzed it up. You'll love it. You added nuts. I'm allergic to nuts. Oh, please, you always exaggerate that allergy thing. A little almond extract won't kill you. Veronica, I could literally die. For God, you're so dramatic. This is why I had to take over. You're making this whole wedding about you. It's my wedding. Well, it was your wedding, but since you're being such an ungrateful brat about my help, maybe you don't deserve one. I already told Mom and Dad about how you've been excluding me, and they agree you're being ridiculous. What did you tell them? Her, the truth, that you're having a breakdown, and accused me of trying to poison you just because I tried to make your basic cake more sophisticated. Dad says if you can't appreciate family trying to help, maybe they shouldn't come either. Me. Are you uninviting yourself from my wedding? Well, looks like you're not invited anymore. I mean, who's gonna come anyway? Mom and Dad are on my side. I already told cousin Teresa and Aunt Sharon about your bridezilla behavior. Good luck having a wedding with no family. She hung up. I immediately called my parents. My mom answered, and before I could speak, we're very disappointed in you. Veronica was just trying to help, and you accused her of trying to hurt you? You need therapy. I tried to explain about the nuts, the allergies, the security footage. My mom cut me off. Enough. Either apologize to your sister, or don't expect us at your wedding. They chose their side. Fine. Dylan looked at me and said, we have the footage, the receipt, and her admission recorded. This is attempted assault at minimum. I said, perfect. Because here's what Veronica doesn't know. Rita, the bakery manager, isn't just concerned about the cake. She's concerned about liability. When I explained the full situation, that someone deliberately ordered allergens to be added to a cake knowing multiple people were severely allergic, she went pale. This could have killed someone, multiple someones. If this had been served and anyone had a reaction, we could have been sued into bankruptcy. She committed fraud by impersonating your wedding planner. Rita has already filed a police report. The bakery's lawyer is involved. They're pressing charges for fraud and reckless endangerment. The security footage shows Veronica clearly stating the modifications were a surprise and insisting they not contact me for confirmation. But I'm not done. Update 1. Holy crap, this exploded. To answer some common questions. Yes, this is real. Yes, I have recordings, single-party consent state. No, I'm not overreacting about tree nut allergies. They can be fatal. So update. The police contacted Veronica for questioning yesterday. According to my cousin Amber, the only sane family member I have left, Veronica showed up at the station with my parents, acting like it was all a misunderstanding. Detective Morrison called me afterward. Apparently, Veronica's story changed 3 times. 1. First, she denied being at the bakery at all. 2. When shown the footage, she claimed she was fixing a mistake in my order. 3. Finally, she said she forgot about my allergies and was just trying to make the cake more elegant. The detective straight up asked her, "You forgot your sister's life-threatening allergy that she's had for 23 years?" Veronica burst into tears and my dad started yelling about harassment. They left with a warning that charges were likely forthcoming. 20 minutes after they left the station, the family group chat exploded. My mom sent a novel-length message about how I was destroying the family over a simple mistake. Various aunts and uncles started weighing in. Most sided with Veronica because my mom's version left out the whole potentially lethal allergens part. I responded with the security footage, the receipt showing she paid cash for allergen additions, the recording of her admitting she did it and saying my allergies were exaggerated. Screenshots of texts from 2 years ago where she said people with food allergies were attention seekers. The chat went silent. Then the messages started flooding in privately. Turns out, Veronica has a history of this crap. Cousin Amber reminded me that Veronica had accidentally included shrimp in a dish for our cousin's engagement party, knowing the groom was allergic. Aunt Sharon mentioned the time Veronica put regular milk in her lactose-intolerant friend's coffee as a prank. But here's the kicker. Remember how she said she'd already told everyone about my bridezilla behavior? She had. She'd been laying groundwork for weeks, telling family I was having a mental breakdown, that I was jealous of her, that I was trying to exclude her from my life. She'd created this whole narrative where she was the concerned older sister trying to help her unstable sibling. My Aunt Marjorie sent me screenshots. Veronica had texted her, "I'm so worried about OP, she's been acting erratic. I wouldn't be surprised if she makes up some crazy story about me to get attention before the wedding." This was sent 2 weeks ago, before she changed my cake order. She planned this. Dylan's ex-cop brother did some digging. The bakery wasn't the only vendor she'd contacted. She'd called our florist asking to add some special touches, but they'd refused without my authorization. She'd tried to change our catering order to include a nut-heavy menu, but couldn't because she didn't have the deposit receipt. She literally tried to poison my entire wedding. Update 2. The last week has been insane. First, the legal stuff. Veronica was formally charged with fraud and reckless endangerment. The bakery is also pursuing a civil case. Their lawyer explained that attempting to add allergens to food products without disclosure is a massive liability issue. They could have lost their business license. When Veronica was arrested, yes, actually arrested, my parents went nuclear. My dad left me a voicemail calling me a vindictive witch who was jealous of her sister's beauty and charm. My mom texted saying I was dead to her. Cool. The feeling's mutual. But Veronica couldn't help herself. While out on bail, she decided to show up at my workplace. I'm a graphic designer at a medium-sized firm. We have security, but she told them she was my sister with a family emergency. They let her up. She stormed into our open office space and started screaming, "How could you do this to me? I'm facing jail time because you can't take a joke." My coworkers were stunned. My boss, Diane, immediately called security, but Veronica wasn't done. You've always been the pathetic one. You think Dylan actually loves you? I told him about all your mental issues. He's only with you because he feels sorry for you. Dylan, who had come to pick me up for lunch, walked in right at that moment. He looked at Veronica and said, very calmly, "Actually, I'm with her because she's not a psychopath who tries to murder people with cake." Security arrived. Veronica tried to swing at them. They pinned her down. Someone called 911. She was arrested again, this time for assault, trespassing, and violating her bail conditions. My boss gave me the rest of the week off and offered to testify if needed. The entire office witnessed her meltdown. Someone, I still don't know who, recorded it and sent it to me. I forwarded it to the detective. But the best part? Remember how she paid cash for the cake modifications? Turns out that $400 came from somewhere interesting. My cousin Amber did some detective work. Veronica had been bragging on Instagram about her investment profits and flashing cash. Amber knows Veronica doesn't invest. She can barely keep a job for more than 6 months. Turns out, our grandmother had given Veronica $5,000 to pay for her upcoming professional development courses to help her career. Grandma has early dementia and still thinks Veronica is in college. Veronica has been milking her for money for 2 years. I called my uncle, Grandma's son, and explained everything. He checked Grandma's accounts. Over $30,000 was missing, all cash withdrawals made when Veronica would take her on shopping trips. Elder financial abuse. That's a felony. Uncle pressed charges immediately. Final update. I'm writing this from my honeymoon suite. I'm now officially Mrs. Dylan Martinez, and I couldn't be happier. But let me back up and tell you how we got here. After Veronica's arrest for elder abuse, my parents finally had to face reality, or so I thought. Instead, they doubled down. My mom called crying about how I'd destroyed our family and ruined Veronica's life over nothing. My dad sent a letter, an actual letter, disinheriting me and saying I was no longer their daughter. I sent back a simple response. Okay. 2 weeks before the wedding, Veronica's lawyer contacted me. She wanted to make a deal. If I dropped the charges and convinced the bakery to drop theirs, she'd plead guilty to the elder abuse charge only. Her lawyer said she was suffering enough and had learned her lesson. I said no. The bakery said no. My uncle said hell no. She's currently facing fraud, felony due to amount, reckless endangerment, multiple counts, elder financial abuse, felony, assault, criminal trespass, bail violation. Her lawyer estimated she's looking at 3 to 5 years minimum, more likely 5 to 8 with the elder abuse charge. My parents hired her a better lawyer. They took out a second mortgage on their house to pay for it. They've spent their retirement savings on her defense. Meanwhile, our wedding? We uninvited my entire father's side of the family. My mother's side split. Some stayed loyal to Veronica, others were appalled when they learned the truth. Final count, 35 family members uninvited. You know what? It was perfect. We had 60 people who genuinely love and support us. My boss and coworkers came. Dylan's family was amazing. The friends who've been there through everything celebrated with us. Amber walked me down the aisle. The bakery? They made us a new cake for free. Rita delivered it personally and stayed for the reception. She said it was the least they could do after everything. It was beautiful and completely nut-free. During the reception, Amber gave a speech. She said, "OP's shown us all what real strength looks like." She stood up to people who should have protected her, who chose favoritism over their daughter's life, and she did it with grace, dignity, and a spine of steel. Dylan, you're marrying a warrior. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. I found out yesterday, from Amber, my eternal source of family intel, that my parents didn't attend Veronica's latest hearing because they couldn't afford to miss work after taking so much time off for her previous court dates. She apparently had a meltdown in court about being abandoned. The prosecutor told Amber that Veronica tried to claim I had orchestrated everything to steal her life. When asked to elaborate on how I forced her to commit fraud and elder abuse, she started crying and said everyone was against her because I was manipulative. The judge wasn't impressed. Her trial is in 3 months. I'll be there not because I need to see her suffer, but because I need to see this through. Dylan will be with me. We're building our life together on a foundation of truth and boundaries, something my birth family never understood. My phone has been blissfully quiet. No family drama, no guilt trips, no manipulation. Just congratulations from people who actually care about us. To those asking if I feel guilty? No. Veronica tried to kill me. She literally attempted to murder multiple people at my wedding. She stole from our grandmother with dementia. She destroyed our family with her lies and manipulation. She made her choices. My parents chose their golden child over their other daughter's life. They made their choice too. I chose myself. I chose Dylan. I chose the family we're building together. And it's perfect. P.S. For everyone asking about Grandma, Uncle got power of attorney and moved her to a wonderful memory care facility near his home. She doesn't remember Veronica anymore, which is probably for the best. Uncle brings her to visit sometimes, and she loves Dylan. She calls him that nice young man with the kind eyes. P.P.S. The security footage from the bakery? It's been submitted as evidence, but the best part? Veronica didn't notice the audio was recording too. You can clearly hear her tell the cashier, "Make sure the nuts are mixed in well. I want them in every bite, every single bite." Premeditation established.